Okay, so don't worry if you are not finished writing down all of the contents of this PowerPoint, because it's going to stay up while I explain. So with that being said, reading the book, hopefully you've read the book, the first 7 pages, definitely. That's a part of what you'll be assessed on this week. You notice, or they told you that rhetoric simply details understanding what a text truly says or what message the creator is trying to convey. So has anyone ever said or even heard of someone say you're using empty rhetoric? Who's ever heard of that? Or your rhetoric doesn't apply? Oh, once or twice. So the idea of rhetoric is simply when someone's using words, are they actually convincing you of their points? Empty rhetoric means you're using words, but you're not proving your points. Rhetoric is simply how writers prove their point. How does a writer or a reader or anyone who even is saying a speech or anything, how do they prove their claims? Am I saying that I deserve a car? I'm telling my mother I deserve a car, and I'm not saying anything to solidify why I deserve a car, why she should allow me to drive. If I'm not, then that's empty rhetoric. The idea of rhetoric is simply the proof or the support that I give to support the claim, Mom, I deserve a car. Is my claim sufficient? Is my evidence sufficient? Are my details, my commentary sufficient? Or is it good enough to get my mom to buy me a car? If it is, then my rhetoric is on point. If it's not, then it's empty rhetoric. The rhetoric doesn't make sense. It's faulty rhetoric. Does that make sense now? Okay. All right, so in this class, one thing, like I said earlier, that we will note is a text can be anything. We're going to look at the rhetoric from different texts. And a text can be something that we read, like just an excerpt from a book. It can be an actual poem. It can be a speech. But it can also be a speech without giving you the text to annotate. Someone just actually presented a speech on CNN and you're watching the speech on CNN. That might be considered a text. Someone having an advertisement on a billboard, that could be a text. And the reason why all of those different things could be a text, even a music video, a movie, why can all of that be a text? Because it's the idea that you have to read it, or you have to try to figure out what the main objective is, or the purpose of that particular text is, or that particular piece is, makes it a text. So a text can be anything. From now to like June, remember that. And even when you get to literature. But in literature, or when you get to AP Lit, you'll be looking at literature, of course, and of course that's all text. But for this particular class, we look at everything. We look at advertisements, we look at commercials, we look at speeches, we look at, like I said, biographies. So you're looking at everything as a text because everything has something that can be read. Even if a person stands up or they walk into class and they come and they just stand in front of you, you are reading that person, trying to figure out what they're saying, what they're about. So everything for us is a text. Does that make sense? Okay. So in order to analyze a text, we use the rhetorical situation. We first look at the rhetorical situation. So the rhetorical situation, as said earlier, is the audience, the purpose, and the speaker. Well, it's going to be a little bit of all of this. The audience, the purpose, the speaker, the subject, and the occasion, or if you put it all together the right way, it becomes what we like to call SOAPs. So the S, the O, the A, the P, and the S becomes SOAPs. In the book, I believe they present it to you as the same way, but sometimes you'll see them switch the speaker and the subject. But for us, I try to do the subject first because the subject is the easiest. It's the speaker that's a little bit harder to figure out, especially if you only have a name. And a lot of people just give me the name. And when we're looking at the speaker, we look a little bit deeper than just the name of the person. But we'll talk about that. So we look at the whole rhetorical situation, and most of this is these are the elements that you put in your introduction paragraphs. Next, this incorporates the rhetorical or Aristotelian triangle, which consists of analyzing how the speaker, the audience, and the subject impact the text. Meaning, today, I'm in class, I'm presenting information to you, I'm a teacher who has a doctorate and who has degrees in English. You are my audience, you are my students from my AP classes. Our subject is, of course, English and rhetoric and rhetorical analysis. So that would impact my text or the message that I give to you. If I was a hairstylist, talking to a room full of other hairstylists, and our subject is cosmetic products, then of course that would be like, I'm talking about something different. That would impact my text. That would impact how I deliver the message. Now, if I'm a hairstylist in a room full of teachers, and I'm still trying to talk about cosmetic products, I still may do things a little bit different because my audience are teachers. So I may have to use different tactics or skills or different, what we like to call rhetorical strategies to convince them to do certain things. You guys understand that it all depends on all of these areas to create the text. Does that make sense? All right, so let's look a little bit more deeper into this whole SOAPs analysis, and let's look at our first big one, which is the subject. So go ahead and copy that down. You can. You can write it on the same paper though, or in the back.
You're not collecting it?
I'm gonna collect it, but not today.